The world's number one tennis player, Novak Djokovic, is currently being held in a quarantine hotel, facing possible deportation from Australia, where he is trying to play in the Australian Open. Trial attorney Arthur Aidala is here with me to discuss it, along with former federal prosecutor Wiehl. So both of you guys have prosecuted cases. Now, Arthur, you defend them, and Lise writes books and so on. But this is like a novel. I can't believe that they have taken, this isn't some no-name loser. This is like one of the most famous people on earth. And I guess he got a visa to come in, but then they decided to mark him anyway as possibly unvaccinated. And you tell me, Lise, what is now happening and going to happen to him?
Well, he's waiting, as you said, Megyn, in detention. And he's going to be there until Monday when they have another hearing on it. But look, the prime minister is very adamant in saying the rules are the rules. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're not vaccinated and you don't have some kind of medical exemption, or religious exemption, then you're not going to be allowed into the country. And yeah, it's crazy that he's been there that long. And yeah, it's crazy there's been a mix-up. But if that's the bottom line and he hasn't been vaccinated and there is no exemption, he should be out of there. He shouldn't be.
You know, Megyn, I'm a big fan of common sense, right? And I'm a big fan of the prime minister looking at his country as a whole. How much money does that tennis tournament bring into the citizens of Australia? Number one. Number two, you're not talking about some schmuck who wants to come in and he's ranked 4,000th. You're talking about a guy who has the finances to absolutely totally isolate, to get tested every 15 minutes if they want him to. And look, although the rules are the rules, Lise, as the prime minister, you are allowed to make exceptions.
Really?
Excuse me. We don't pardon people for crimes. We don't let people, prime ministers and presidents don't let people out of jail who have been sentenced.
Yes. Don't let him commit the crime. I mean, come on, Arthur. What kind of message is that?
It's not a crime. It is not a crime.
It's about
of course, when you're the prime minister, it's all about money. It's all about money.
Wait a minute, wait. But hold on, and I'll give you the floor, Lise. That what they're saying is that he received a medical exemption before he got there. And now it seems like the feds and the state over there are sort of pointing the finger at each other over who gave him that exemption. But here's what's weird to me. The reports are that they singled him out upon landing in Australia, not because they were like, medical exemption, but because they were like, he publicly decried vaccine mandates, not even just vaccines, vaccine mandates, and therefore said, red flag, let's look further into this case, which this is nuts. This is very, very big brothery.
I don't see it that way. Look, he said he's been out there on social media saying he doesn't believe in vaccinations. Nobody should be mandated, but the rules, I mean, I'm sorry I'm repeating myself, the rules are the rules. It's required in Australia to have the vaccine. And if you want to come in, he's coming in as a guest of the country. I don't care. I mean, obviously I care he's the number one player and he's rich and all that, but it shouldn't matter. I mean, that because the message that would send to the rest of the Australian populace, by the way, the COVID is going out there.
Let me see if I can persuade you with this argument.
Okay, try.
Okay. Unlike, I'll just say myself, my body is not exactly my temple, okay? but his body is, right? I mean, you're talking about one of the greatest athletes to have ever walked the planet Earth. Exactly. And he watches very much like Tom Brady and Michael and Phelps and all of these. He watches every little ounce that goes into his body. Whether it be lack of alcohol, whether it be organic romaine lettuce,
steroids.
I would say
no, just kidding. I have no evidence of that.
For this particular person, under these circumstances, a medical exemption, which Australia does have a medical exemption. It should be employed.
No, because it's not going to apply here. A medical exemption means if you can't take the vaccine for some reason. You just made my argument even stronger, which is that he has no medical exemption.
How do you know?
We don't know that.
How does he know? What happens if he does take the vaccine and he has a reaction that ends his tennis career? This is a guy who's vying for the championship of all Grand Slams of all time. He's tied in a 3-way tie.
Come to Australia where those are the rules. Go play somewhere else where those aren't the rules. You can't
okay,
play
but first of all, can I just say something?
By the rules.
Can I say something?
Is a game of rules.
Whether
the country is a game of
whether
rules.
he deserves the medical exemption or not doesn't change the effect on the Australian population. Right? Like let's say he legitimately can't get it for some reason. He's still going to go over there unvaccinated. So if Australia allows some people to be there unvaccinated because they have medical exemptions or whatever it is, then why wouldn't they allow Novak Djokovic, who, as Arthur points out, can absolutely stay completely isolated away from he is, as I understand it, the defending champ at the Australian Open, number one in the world, going to generate tons of money for the Australians. Why wouldn't they say, we will allow you to do it? You speak to no one, get near no one. You're already here, for God's sake.
Because those are special applications, special rules, bending the rules, however you want to say it, that wouldn't be given if you or I tried to do the same thing. And that's not
But
fair.
you or I are not the defending. Right. We're not the defending Australian champs.
You're making a money argument, Arthur, and this is not a money argument. This is a health argument. This is a rules argument.
Okay,
that can be.
What I started off by saying, can we make it a common sense argument? And what Megyn just said is he's going to be totally isolated. He's going to be away from everybody, and so that's not really a health argument.
He's still playing on the 17th. Again, they wouldn't allow us in. Why should they allow him in?